Really proud of my football team, the way they competed. Fourth quarter, we had 4 true freshmen playing against an option team that they haven't seen before, and they were figuring it out as they went. And then on offense, we had 6 possessions the whole game, and anytime you're limited to 6 possessions, you have to be extremely efficient. And other than the 3 and out where we had a receiver that we couldn't hook up with, there's not much I can really pick at from a head coach's perspective. I love the way my team battled, and Navy was just a little bit better today by 1 point.
Brian, over here to your left.
Yeah.
4th and 4 at the 14-yard line. You hadn't stopped Navy very much during the day.
Yeah.
What were your thoughts on not going for the first down and kicking the field goal?
Well, certainly, thought about going for it. Now in hindsight, it's something that we didn't get the ball back. But, 28-27 made sense to me at the time. Even if they score a touchdown, we still have, the opportunity to score and get the 2-point conversion. So it made sense to me that 28-27 was the right call at 4th and 4. I think if it's 4th and 1 or 2, maybe. But, those are the decisions that you got to make, And again, I don't question the decision to go for the field goal, other than the fact that, we couldn't get the ball back.
Brian, the too many men on the field penalty on the punt, what was sort of your view of what happened on that?
Well, I was standing there, and we had 2 officials who agreed with me that he got off the field.
What was the explanation you got from the other officials then?
That we all saw the same thing, that he took a step and stepped onto the sideline, and as long as you're within a step of the sideline, which he was, felt that he was clearly getting off the field, but it was seen otherwise.
Brian, over
Obviously, a very key play in the game.
Brian, over here. Where you're from, if you can. Yeah, Jared Schenker, ESPN.com. So you had 2 officials tell you that the guy had to get off the field in time?
Both officials confirmed that they felt he was off the field in time.
Is that something that happens before where an official will tell you that he's, I guess, differs from what another official had?
No, both officials, you're not hearing me clearly. Both officials, and I asked them both, because clearly they didn't throw a flag. And they were standing with me, and I asked them both, what did you see? I saw him step off the sideline, and they concurred that they felt that they saw the same thing that I saw. And they were clearly overruled. But let's not make that listen, Navy won the game, So I'm not here to cry over, that call. We had chances to get off the field. We couldn't get off the field.
Brian, you allowed 14 points in each half. I mean, if somebody would have told you going in that you'd do that, you'd figure you'd have enough possessions to win this game?
We just didn't have enough, so it was the 14-14 with only 2 possessions in the second half, Tim. You know what I mean? I think that was the rub. Now, if we get the ball back with 1:14, I'm feeling pretty confident we're going to find a way to score. And that's really, they made a couple of the big plays that they needed to hold on to the football late. And that really was the difference.
This is always a game of adjustments for you and your defense. What was the give and take there? What did you adjust to? What did they adjust to you?
Well, it was a quarterback-driven run game, so counter option, cracking the safety, and really forcing the corners to run support. They wanted to put the pressure on the young guys on the perimeter. That they did a much better job taking care of the cut block. We got cut early, obviously. We overran the big play run. They ran counter option. We got outside the puller, and he was able to cut it back up inside. We corrected that at halftime, and I thought we played it much better.
Good to have Martini today, huh?
Greer's a really smart player. has a good sense of the triple and does a really good job. I thought by and large, though, they all had a really good sense of where they needed to be. We're a little late on the backside with our safety to the pitch, and that was really the only thing that we needed to get a little bit better play from, and it got better late. It just took too long for them to really feel comfortable seeing it.
Julian Love,
Head injury. Drew Tranquil had injury.
same injury?
Yeah, both had head injuries, yes.
Coach, Tranquil's penalty early, it didn't look on replay like it was unnecessary. And how do you view that?
Well, I asked the official that if I could give him clips of how Deshaun Kaiser's treated, he would have thrown 3 flags. You know, I had a conversation about it, and we moved on. I didn't feel as though it was, but again, I had my say, and we came to an agreement that we had disagreed, and we moved on. Yeah.
Yeah, Brian, you look at Deshaun's game today, 3 touchdowns, no turnovers, also had a couple throws he'd probably like to have back. How do you assess the way he played?
You know, it was interesting. Here's Deshaun. You know, I like the fact that he finished off his runs today. There are certain parts of his game that I'm really pleased with because he's showing some of the gritty toughness that I think that position I like to see. And he's starting to show that. I thought he was really decisive in the red zone. You know, we ran a play that had a couple of, reads to it, and he didn't like it, and he stayed forward in the pocket and had a nice run. I think I really like those. Couple of throws, mechanically he's always working to get better, so there's always a couple of throws here and there, but, I'm looking at his numbers.
It was 19 of 27.
I mean, he's still, the numbers are pretty good. I'd like to get a couple of throws, but I think my answer to your question more than anything else is I'm seeing that toughness and gritty play that I thought at times might have been lacking in the middle of the season, and that's a really good sign.
The throw in the end zone to Hunter,
Yeah.
was that an overthrow or Hunter just sort of cut the route out short? Or?
So we were trying to run a corner route, and the safety was outside leveraging it. And he tried to throw a back shoulder. It probably should have dropped it down. The corner had sank, but he's trying to make a play, and that's really what happened there.
Thanks.